My name is Shane. I'm a brand director, and I'm here with Benjamin Loya, another brand director. If you guys don't know who we are a full-service Amazon agency. You can check us out at myamazonguy.com. We have all of our services, coaching calls, SOPs, anything you might need is on there as well. And feel free to drop your questions into the chat. We will get started here with some of the first questions. First question from Karen Singh. Is there a way for us to see category and niche level conversion rate data to see how we fare compared to competitors? Same for CTR.
Yeah, we can take a look to brand analytics. There is a place inside Amazon where we can look at very insightful suggestions from Amazon. We can see which are the search terms that the people is looking for inside our products, and there are also some insights about what is driving the customers to buy or to purchase your products, and what are the main reasons why they are returning these. There is a lot of information inside brand analytics, and I will suggest you to take a look at that in deep, just to see what you can get from there.
Yeah, a good video we have is the My Amazon Guy. You can look up ICAP marketing funnel. That'll go really in depth on the SQP, the search query performance section of brand analytics. And so you don't maybe get full conversion level data with competitors, but you'll be able to see, like, say on your best keyword, what's your impression share? So like how much do you show up compared to the rest of the competition? You can see your purchase share, and that can give you a good idea and a lot of strategies to go with. I would definitely recommend checking out that video. I'll move on to the next question here, also from Karen. What's your advice for a pickleball paddle brand that's new, 50 reviews, 4.8 rating, but struggling to rank for important high search terms due to a saturated market? Overall, just strategy for tough markets. Yeah, I mean, you said it. You're in a tough just market with competitors, lots of competition out there. I've seen a few pickleball related brands as well. I think my best suggestion here would be to try to lean into some sort of outside marketing, whether you can work on TikTok and Facebook. You can use the brand referral bonus on Amazon, gets you a little up to 10% back on sales that you drive from outside sources. I'd say Amazon loves that beyond anything else, is if you're able to get sales from an outside source into Amazon. Your listing will see the benefit from that, and hopefully you can get like cheaper cost per click, cheaper viewable impressions from other advertising sources than you would with Amazon's.
And the next one, want me to take that one?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Where within a campaign can I see what words or campaign is performing well, and where can I adjust the dollar amount? I don't have a Seller Central in here, but you just need to go to targeting when you are talking about manual campaign. And when you are talking, when you are talking about an auto campaign, you need to go in there and you need to go down to search terms. In there, you are going to be able to see a lot of data. A thing that I would like to add in here is that you need to make sure that the keywords that are in there, I know this is a bit off topic, but the keywords that are in there, if they are like, I don't know, if your ACoS is around 30%, that's your goal, and you can see search terms that are already around 60%, is going to be very difficult to bring that thing down. Most sure thing, if you already receive like 20 clicks or something around that, is going to be very difficult to down that, so to get that to your goal. So that's something you need to keep in mind. But yeah, you will be able to adjust the dollar amount in there, and you will be able to see which keywords are performing well for your campaign.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything there. So basic recap for manual targeting campaigns, if you're targeting and you pick the keywords yourself, just click on the campaign and then go to targeting, and then you can see how each one's performing specifically. And then if it's an auto campaign, you click into the campaign, and then you click into the ad group, and then you click into search terms, and you can see kind of each search term that's being hit in that auto campaign and how it's performing. And I guess last thing that we didn't mention is you could just from your advertising reports, from the advertising console, go to measurement and reporting. You can download a sponsored ads report. You could download just a search term report for like the last 30 days and take a full complete look at all of the search terms that you're spending on and how they're performing. And it looks like there was a follow-up to that
Yeah.
from the thinkerish here. So once I know what words are performing, should I create another campaign? Good question. I think especially for an auto campaign, if you find in an auto campaign that you have a search term that's like doing really, really well and getting you a lot of orders, I would take that search term out and start to use it in an actual manual targeting campaign, maybe with an exact match or a phrase match, if you want to still see if you can find any other keywords that are associated with it in a phrase match. I would just 100% recommend if you do that, if you create a new campaign for it, you should go into your auto campaign again, and you should add that keyword as a negated keyword. So this way, if you don't do that, you're going to have your auto campaign trying to spend on that keyword, and you're going to have your new campaign trying to spend on that keyword, and you're just bidding against yourself. So you can just take it out of the old campaign and put it in a new one. That is a good strategy, and we call that kind of segmentation. And I think actually I want to mention one more thing. I would always recommend ideally about 5 targets in each manual campaign, a maximum of 10. If you guys are having more than like 10 targets in a campaign, you're not going to be able to control the spend well. And you'll probably notice that, say you have 20 keyword targets in a campaign, that 2 or 3 of them do 95% of the spend, and then the rest of them aren't getting any attention or spend, because the top 3 are just more popular searches. But anyway, we will move on here to Blizzard Wolf TV. Question is, I'm low in stock and PPC has been worse with ROAS due to this. No changes have been made to the campaign, just that stock is low. Will stocking up high help with ads again due to more visibility and completed sales? Ben, you want to?
Yeah, when basically stop advertising if you are running low in stock. That's one of the main rules that you should have in your mind. And the other thing is that if you are going to be struggling with replenishments or things like that, you need to start thinking about the pricing strategy in there. The opposite of discounting. You should be increasing your price so that way you slow down the demand for that product, even when it's going to hurt you. We believe that it is better to hurt some sales or to sacrifice some sales rather than sacrificing your current traction, because Amazon is going to reset the traction that you already earned, and it's going to be twice or 3 times difficult for you to earn back that traction once you lost it. So
Yeah, 100% agree. Low on stock, if you're feeling like you're going to go out or you just can't replenish in time, you're waiting for your manufacturer. 2 things you can do, or what Ben said, is turn ads down or off entirely, or increase your price. If you do increase your price, watch your buy box. You don't want to lose your buy box. That's not the goal here. But we want to just slow sales down, and say you're doing 10 units per day and we slow everything down and you're doing 2 units per day, while you have, it gives you an extra couple weeks to restock. That's much more positive than going out of stock this week and then being out of stock for another 2 weeks and watching your BSR tank for 2 or 3 weeks. Rather just slow things down. Your BSR will go down a little bit. It won't be growing because you're slowing sales down, but at least you're not running out of stock, and that's the number one rule. If I had a number one rule for Amazon, it's don't run out of stock. All right. Next up here is Aliataha. The question is, what's the best PPC strategy to increase sales with low ACoS? I think is the question that everybody needs to know. Yeah. I think that is a question that everybody would like to know the answer to. It really depends on a lot of things, and category and the keywords that you are targeting is going to be the biggest one. Whatever category you're in, competitive, I would assume is kind of a category that you're in with this question. I would maybe try to look for longer tailed keywords. Keywords that aren't being bid on by 200, 300 products at the same time, that has way too high of a cost per click, and do your best to live in kind of that long-tailed type of search. Use auto campaigns to find targets that will work for you at a lower cost per click. And I'll default back to outside marketing. Amazon's very expensive. Amazon advertising is Amazon's #1 revenue leader among all the things that Amazon does. Ads cost a lot of money, and Amazon makes a lot of money on ads because of this. So if you can find other platforms to advertise on that you can be a bit more successful with, again, you use that brand referral bonus, hamburger menu, brands, brand referral bonus, and then you get an extra 10% back as well, which can help fund those outside marketing efforts. And I'd maybe look to that. Okay, next one up here, Ben, you got it?
Yeah, this one. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one because this one is like difficult. ProHal Cosmetic. If you can develop further on this one, hope you are well this week. My account payments have changed from.
Oh, yeah, there's not a full question there.
You want to, the next question is: I have an open case that has been resolved according to the chat support agent. Would I actually receive a confirmation email about that from Lee Diaz? Lee, I believe that you should be receiving a confirmation if they resolve that. I mean, but if you receive a confirmation from the chat support agent and you cannot see the fixing reflected in there, the resolution, you need to push back. But if you didn't receive a confirmation over email, I believe that you shouldn't be waiting for that one if you are already not having the same issue.
Yep, agreed. If you don't see the result, maybe the Amazon support probably says your case is answered, but if you don't see that your ASIN's fixed or whatever, your image isn't uploaded, I would go in there and reopen the case and say you need more help with this issue, get them back on support. That's very typical for support. They'll probably close your case without it being actually resolved. You can also try a new case ID if you're getting nowhere in that one. Definitely would recommend that.
And let's go with Jeff Allen. With Rufus AI, should we be using exact customer search phrases in title bullets and backend keywords, even if you are duplicating keywords? I believe you would like to take this one, Shane, right?
Yeah, I've been playing around a little bit with Rufus AI and trying to find strategies that will help to influence it. I guess there's a few things I can say, but I can't say that I know for a fact that they definitely help. I mean, it's not like this data is all public on how it works. A few things that we've done is use premium A+ content, and in your premium A+ content, you can do a frequently asked questions section. I would ask the Rufus AI about your product. What makes the best pickleball set for a customer, or what do you recommend in pickleball sets? And take its output and try to repurpose that output into a frequently asked question and answers in your premium A+ content. You can also post customer questions from a customer account onto the product page if you don't do premium A+ or don't have access to premium A+. Just use a customer account to ask a question on the page and then answer the question from your sign-in, and try to really base it off of what Rufus values in your product type. And we've done some work with alt text in A+ contents and brand stories, trying to use some of the keywords on things it likes as well. And I think that's about it. I think that's about all I've done with Rufus. Oh, one more thing. I would try to make sure that Rufus is recognizing your product. Go ask it, hey, does Jeff Allen products exist on Amazon? And it may or may not show you it, and you maybe want to just like quickly train it and show it your product and teach it your product really quick so that it starts to use it with other customers. I think that may or may not work, but just a few things we've tried, and for a couple people I've worked with, we started to actually see them pop up in the search for it. The most important thing is you're going to be highly ranked, though. If you're not like a super highly ranked product, it's going to be really difficult for you to pop up in a Rufus AI search.
Yeah, nice question. Nice question, Jeff. Let's go back to. Okay, we don't have the name. It says hey. So hey. Hey. When you refund a customer, should you indicate it is a general adjustment or a customer return? I assume one is better for your return rate and or for recovering Amazon fees. When issuing a refund on Amazon, marking it as general adjustment will be, typically better for your return rate, as it won't directly impact your return metrics. On the other hand, having a customer return or marking it as that will reflect in your return rate statistics and potentially will be affecting your account. If you can do that, I believe that Amazon is checking on those things as well. But
Yeah, I don't know if there's a difference. I would probably just go with general adjustment here. I think you're only going to get a customer return counted when a customer like hits their return button. Like I don't think hitting customer return here is going to change anything, but like either way, I'd still just use general adjustment. And number one call out here is like don't use this as a way to fix reviews. Never ever like refund a customer and be like, hey, like you left us a bad review. Here's money back if you can. Never ask them to change it and never ask them to like adjust their review or anything. That's very important for that. But I would just go general adjustment, honestly.
yeah, that can play that can play against you if you try to conditionate, your.
Yeah, really, really will play, especially doing that live right on Amazon's chats and everything. That will probably hit you pretty quickly.
Okay, so let's go to CFAMIC.
Yeah, quick question. Honeymoon period 30 or 180 days. Honestly, I don't think if anyone tells you they know the answer, I don't think they actually really, really know the answer here. And I would just go closer to 30 days for your question. I believe we communicate a 2 to 4 week honeymoon period is the date range that we kind of give there. So I would say 30 days, if anything. All right. So this was a follow-up from Pro Hall, I think. So good afternoon. My account payments have changed from Pro Hall. If you can maybe repost the question. Yeah, I see you're posting something down there. We'll get to you. I want to try to help you and answer you. I'm just a little bit confused on the question right now. We'll go to Lay Diaz. How do I list a book with softcover and hardcover versions? Is that a variation? Ben, how many book listings have you worked with?
I used to work with one account, and that mostly will be a most sure thing that will be a variation thing. You can have like a parent listing with the soft cover and the hardcover versions of those. I believe that when you have I forgot the name. I don't have the name in my head, but when you have the account in there, there is some options that Amazon can do for you. There are some things that Amazon can do for you regarding your books, but I believe these will be two variations, under one parent listing.
Yeah, I think so too. I haven't worked with a ton of books, Lay, but I think, yeah, I think maybe the only a complication could be is that them having the same ISBN and how you would list them with the same ISBN as two different variations. You can also send a follow-up to podcast@myamazonguy.com and we could see if we can help with an answer. But there'll definitely be variations. Like you can't put them on the same listing. There just may be some little hurdles with getting them both listed, especially if they have the same product ID.
Yeah, and I believe that there is a variation name called like a book format, and you can have that one listed under those, and that is how it's going to work. I just wanted to remind that, or to remember which were the services that Amazon is providing to you once you are inside there selling books, because there are some things that they can handle for you. And I was thinking or trying to remember if they are doing this, like handling the hardcovers and the soft covers for you. But I believe that answering to your question, if you want to list a book with a soft cover and hardcover versions, the variation team will be that, the book format, and you can do it that way. So
okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Just don't have a ton of experience with those.
Yeah.
Okay, from Sama, how can I increase my account health rate to be 1,000? Honestly, I wouldn't worry about that too much. It's really the only way you're going to get that up to 1,000 is just like time and dealing with Amazon support more and more. Like accounts that have been around for years and have done lots of restricted policy violation appeals and all of those violation appeals, and they've worked with Amazon a ton of time. They're usually around 1,000. Newer accounts, it's not going to be at 1,000. The number one thing is just make sure you're above 200, and if you're above that 200 mark, you should be enrolled in account health assurance and your account's like safe. And I think the only reason you fall below 200 is if you're not addressing violations that Amazon is giving to you. And you should be able to maintain above 200 pretty easily, and you get all the same benefits as someone who's at 1,000.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Mohamed Bilal. Is SQP purchase share good enough to get the idea? The data is derived from SQB. How about calculating it from click count value? So basically purchase count by click count. You can calculate purchase share as dividing that. I mean, I believe that is going to give you an understanding on how many clicks lead to purchases. So this will give you like the conversion rate. If you divide like that, inside SQP, I mean, just to develop further, purchase share is going to show you how well you are performing against other competitors, you know, on specific search queries. And dividing purchase click by click count gives you insight on how well the product is performing, you know, and how well it's converting the visitors versus the purchases that you are having. So
yeah, I just recommend the ICAP mag video again because it goes so in depth on this. It's a really great video. And so you're right here, Mohammed. So just looking at the purchase share is good, but there's a lot more you can get from there. You know, like look at that impression share. There's four brand shares. There's a brand share for impressions, basically your overall visibility on a search term. There's a brand share for your clicks, how many clicks you get on that search term compared to the competition. There's a brand share for the add to carts, and then there's a brand share for the purchases. And basically that video, as you watch, it's going to go into detail on that funnel should be shaped naturally like a normal funnel. You have the most impression share, you have the second most click share, the third most add to cart share, the fourth most purchase share. If you see a keyword that has 30% purchase share, and then your impression share is 5%, it's showing me immediately that you're not advertising, you're not showing up enough on that keyword. And if we did, we would get a lot more of the purchases. Okay, next up, I think it's another question from Muhammad here. We'll keep going in order. We're keeping up with you guys pretty well. What do you recommend for a product under the supplement category? What would be the appropriate launch strategy in 2024? Ben, you want to take it, but I have the launch strategy kind of
what do you recommend? Okay, for a product supplement category, supplement is very competitive. It's a very competitive category. I would say that starting as a low price point, Shane is pulling out that strategy, but starting with a low price point is going to be one of the main factors to succeed in here, you know, because you will have a lot of competition. So having a good optimized listing in there, with good images, of course, and all the content that we need to have in there that you already know, or I hope you already know, Mohammed. But basically, going for this is going to be the key. You know, 50% discount off if you can afford it is going to be, below your target price of. Okay, so if you want to have 100 at the end, start with $50, and then you can place a target in sales, or you can say, like, for the first week, I'm going to do it this way. And then the first week passes, or the 50 sales came in, and you can raise the price by 10% more. And you go with that for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. Agreed. If this is something you guys are able to do, I would do it. And then, so the number one thing I would recommend here is first to make sure that you have buy box at your standard or at your target price. You want to have the buy box active at your target price first, and then your discount will show as a discount. If you don't have buy box yet and you just try to discount, it might just show 50% off is the normal price to customers. It won't show that big red 50% off that we're going for. And if you can't handle 50% off to start, like it is very aggressive, you can start here at 30 or 40 or something different. And the idea here is just to get sales quickly in the beginning. And you want to be with FBA. That is a very important piece of this as well. You want to have that Amazon badge. You want your stock in FBA. And the goal is to get a best any sort of badge on your listing and quick BSR growth with that honeymoon period. This should work very well. And I guess the other thing I would recommend is make sure you're advertising off the bat. Again, make sure you're an FBA and keep watching for subscribe and save. Subscribe and save is big for supplements. So the more orders you get, the closer you'll get to unlocking subscribe and save. Maybe use reorder coupons in the beginning to show Amazon system that your product gets reordered often, and that might get you eligible a little bit quicker. And as soon as you have subscribe and save, activate it, activate an incentive for customers, maybe even do a first time subscribe and save discount. Those are all really good strategies for supplements. Okay, we will move on to the next. We have Arslan Ali. If we receive an order from a PPC campaign, we can review the search term to identify the keywords that led to the order, but is there a way to track organic order keywords similar to how we track PPC order keywords?
There is no a direct way to track organic order keywords like PPC order keywords in Amazon. You can use tools like brand analytics, as we mentioned before, search query performance to see top keywords driving traffic to your listings, and that way you can measure kind of, the impact. You can also look at the rate, organic rate versus advertising, keywords inside Helium 10 if you have a Helium 10 account, just to see how well you are doing. Usually we want to see a good ratio in there. And I believe that Mohammed also has the same thoughts than us,
Not everybody get the info, but you can get insights from SQP and keyword organic. Yeah, Mohammed, great answer on that. Yep, that's and I agree with Ben. There's no real way, but if you go to Helium 10 and you look up your ASIN and then filter, it'll automatically filter organic ranks first on Cerebro. You're honestly probably only getting organic sales on things that are organic ranked 1 through 20. Things that are past the 20 organic rank, I'd say there's a low chance you're getting the organic sale there because you're probably either on the bottom of the first page or you're on the second page, and 95% of customers aren't making or going that far on a search page to find the product they want. So yeah, I mean, no direct way, but there's some things you can look at for sure.
Yeah, some tricks, some places. Anyways, let's go back to Charles the Seller. Resell is still alive. Why? This is a good one. Why are people saying private label is the only way to make money on 3P Amazon? Resell on Amazon is definitely still viable. It depends on where you are aiming to go. The reason people often say private label is more profitable is because you basically will be able to control your brand. That's the most important thing I can see in here. You will have, of course, higher margins most of the times, and you will be able to do some scalability. You know what I mean? You will be able to control, again, going back to the control. You are going to lead your brand to wherever you want to go, and you are going to be able to escalate at the velocity that you would like to. If you are reselling, you are going to have more competition in there, and you are going to have less margins to play. So those are my thoughts, Shane.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Ben. I mean, private label is just better. I mean, resale still alive. I would say yes. It's still possible. I would say yes, but it's definitely clear that it was a lot more viable and a lot better of an option maybe 3 to 5 years ago. It feels like it's slowly kind of getting choked out by the increasing fees for FBA, for everything, especially right now. We're entering peak season for holiday peak season fees. Margins are usually pretty thin on arbitrage and resale type stuff. So that's the only reason I think we say that, and we only see Amazon fees just keep going up and up and up, and the boot going further down on resellers next. Okay, we'll move next here. Go. I think this is our next question, right? Okay. My account health rating has always been stuck on beta, like a glitch, and I can never see the number. It's just green, yellow, or red. I've been selling for almost 10 years. Does that mean I'm unbannable? I would not say you're unbannable. Amazon loves to ban. But that's interesting. I haven't seen that where it just says beta and it doesn't give you a rating. I wonder if that's something you could just like raise a quick ticket about. If you're seeing green, then I would assume you're above 200. Usually green is just showing a healthy account health rating. But yeah, that's really interesting. I've actually never seen that.
No, no, go ahead, Shane. I don't want to cut you
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Let me just. I'm gonna share screen for a quick second on the Age of Sage account, and just like this is what it should look like. You have an account health rating, healthy. Shows a number. If as long as it's above 200, it should be green. And you should have this account health assurance up here as well. This shows that you're enrolled and that you're above a 200 account health rating. And you have this resource available to you to call and talk about account health issues if Amazon's ever trying to deactivate you or deactivate something. It's a nice little resource. So if you don't see this here, then I would probably go to support and try to figure out why that's chosen beta. If you see this here, I think you're good and you have the account health rating you need.
Yeah, and I was about to mention that go to Seller Central Support and see what they can move or they can do for you, because it seems like a glitch to me. If
Yeah.
you have your account open since 10 years ago and you have been active, a lot of changes have been. I mean, the dashboard has suffered a lot of changes. While the time advances, so maybe it got stuck on some of those while it was a beta or something like that before, and maybe that's why you are seeing like that. But definitely should be looking like what Shane just showed to us.
Yeah, looked like a glitch to me, so I
Yeah.
would look into it. Charles, the seller, did you ever get confirmation that putting keywords in product images actually helps indexing for keywords, or just a costless attempt? I would assume you probably asked this on a recent podcast, maybe with Noah. I've heard rumblings about this recently with Amazon's like new AIs and just new features that they're able to pull keywords from images and kind of index them. I don't have exact confirmation on that yet, but I can say the best way to do it would be to maybe throw a keyword in one of your images that we know doesn't index on the rest of your listing right now. So you can do like a helium 10 search, find something that you can put into an image that isn't currently indexing, give it 2 to 4 weeks and start to check if that keyword indexed. I have a feeling that they're starting to index those keywords, but I can't be 100% sure and give you an answer there.
I agree, but we can test it out and you can let us know, Charles. If you do the test and you see that you start indexing for that keyword, it will be a good thing to know. But what we do know is that the click-through rate is improved whenever we apply some of those main image hacks. So we have the comparison from before and after, and that's something that for sure is a fact. Anyways, Jacob Oro, I have a product that is getting sales through advertising efforts and performing quite well. Sorry, I was looking if this was the next one, but somehow the product is not ranking organically for any keywords. Do you know why? Yeah, I mean, maybe we don't have keywords that are very relevant for the product. Low organic sales history in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, usually if I see this and you're saying any keywords, you're seeing 0 organic keywords, I would be looking to figure out if Amazon's flagging your product as an adult listing, or something of the sorts. They're trying to flag your product. I've seen that before. So you can try to, I think if you look in the search bar and you just type in ASIN not searchable, let me try that real quick. Yeah, you just take my ASIN is unsearchable. There should be a help article for that, and I believe, let me double check. I believe there's a self-service tool in there. Maybe not. Not a self-service tool in there, but you can go to start creating a case, and basically your ASIN's not searchable. It'll ask you to input your ASIN, and it might tell you what's kind of going on there. And I've seen before where like products can be flagged as an adult product. Maybe there's some keyword in there triggering the system, and when you have that sort of flag, you're not like indexing at all. I feel like if you're getting sales you should be indexing like pretty much immediately with your backend search terms, with your title search terms. Like indexing should be going into the system, and if it's not, there's a flag somewhere.
That's a nice catch. That's a nice catch, Shane.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that last week, literally. So, good question. There was one from Shahid Khan here from Facebook. Question: which category is easy for running PPC? I think that is a very, very tough question because it's going to even go into the subcategory. But like generically speaking, supplements and pets are tough to advertise in. Generically speaking, I'd say tools and home improvement generically is easier than the two of those. But like really, it really does come down to different subcategories and just overall competition for that subcategory. Very, very tough question to give a specific answer on, but
I would say there is none.
yeah,
There is no,
that's a better answer probably. There's none.
there is no category where it's going to be easy for running PPC, in my opinion. You know, it's going to be always, as Shane mentioned, it's going to be always up to a lot of factors in there, and it depends on your product, basically how hard it gets. But at the end of the day, any category will be easy to run PPC. You will need to have the background or the knowledge, or enough knowledge at least to start building some traction in there.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. Next one from Ali. I don't think we got the link. If you wanna and you're comfortable with us looking at your product on here, I'd be happy to do a little ASIN review and see what we can come up with.
That's going to be
But
funny.
yeah, if you want to drop the link, I can take a quick look at it. We used to do ASIN review, but mostly questions in here.
We can go to the next one, Shane, while I'm trying to pull this one out.
Yeah, and if one of our assistants in here, if you can help us at all, put that link into the private chat. That'll help us copy it. We just can't copy it from here. I did search your ASIN though, Ali. We'll double back here quickly. I don't know if you gave us the parent ASIN, but I searched your ASIN in the search bar, and let me just pull this up quickly, and we'll double back. But I search your ASIN in the search bar, and I only get sponsored product results from likely other sellers. There's an issue there usually. If this is your child ASIN, there's an issue here. And that's called a hidden suppression. So basically when you search your ASIN, you should pop up in the search results as an organic result. If you're not popping up as an organic result when you search your ASIN, there's some sort of hidden suppression. And that can be another way for the person that I was just talking to, Jacob Oro. You can try to search your ASIN in the search bar, Jacob, and if nothing pops up, that's another reason that you could have a hidden suppression. There's something weird going on there. But we'll move on, and Ina or if anyone can help us get that into our private chat so we can actually copy the link. That'd be nice.
I believe I got it. Yeah, I got it. I typed the whole thing.
Oh wow!
Is
All right,
this?
go for it.
I'm going to try to present my screen.
Go for it.
Is this one the product that you are talking about, Ali? Raw dog food. Okay.
Oh, it was the UK. So I was searching on the US, and that's why nothing came up. That makes sense.
The UK. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Ali is saying this is. So what was the question?
Any recommendations? Best strategy? Improved listing? For first thing, I would the main image. I like that you're showing like how much comes with it. I would maybe try to make that a little bit more organized and compact and like even rows, just to make it a little bit more even. And maybe throw in, once you kind of make that a little bit more compact and even, you can maybe throw in some sort of box or packaging that maybe already comes with your product and put that those first keywords or your most important keywords into there, that it's high protein raw dog food, the same kind of thing that's in your title, if that's a really important keyword for you. Yeah, so like seeing here on this search, like seeing a box that shows that that product has no sugar added, and just another call out that's important for the customer. We want to see that right, or a 6-pack. We want to see that right in the main image. People are very quick to scroll. So main image, I think you've done a good job trying to show that how much it comes with. I think you can do a little bit better, making it a little bit more compact, and then throwing in a keyword on a box or something of that sort.
Yeah.
or even the chicken, showing that it's chicken, because that kind of almost looks like beef to me in the main image, off first glance. If I'm only looking at the main image, I want to know exactly what the product is and what its benefits are.
So if you have a box, or even if you don't have it, you can place something like it looks like a box, just as I show, and I just like things like this, and you have a place where you can place like a made from chicken, 20 pack, things like that, and it's going to be looking nice. And I believe that you are going to have a better space to place the 20 units in there, and it's going to be looking more organized.
Yeah, because if there's 20, I mean, that looks like, to me, if I'm just looking at the image, it looks like
11.
an 11 pack. Yeah. And so a box that shows it's a 20 pack or something different in that way, I think will be beneficial for you.
Yeah, and you can place keywords like this one, additives free inside your main image. I mean, try to play with the package in there to not look too crowded, but at the end of the day, you want to look vibrant because, as Shane mentioned, you are going to have a lot of people scrolling down very, very quick. And let's just look for something really quick.
Congratulations, #1 in frozen dog food. That's really you're top of your category here. You're getting lots of purchases, 100 in the past month. I would, though, recommend just seeing the brand generic, getting branded. Get branded. You unlock a lot of what we talked about today. Premium A+, A+ content, brand analytics for keyword research. You unlock a whole new side of Amazon. So I would definitely look into trademarking and being able to include that piece for your listings, get a brand store, all that good stuff.
Yeah, because right now you are ranking even better than some others, in there with good main images and good packages in there. 6,000 sales in the last vote again, it says. So I don't know why, I never seen this, but basically normally it's like from the past month. So you are ranking even better than them, even when they are having a lot of sales. So I believe this is a good time for you to start revamping what you have in the main image, mainly to increase the click-through rate that
Can
you
you
have.
can you scroll to
Yep.
the buy box for me? Look that down a little bit on that one.
On this one,
No, where you were, the last tab. But this, I want to
you
see
want
who it's FBA or FBM. Chips from, dispatches from. Yeah, and it's a frozen food. I assume there's probably some shipping, intricacies there that you have to deal with. So shipping by yourself is okay. It's just going to make it harder for you to be on like that subscribe and save. You have subscribe and save. Nice. Okay. Subscribe and save was open for seller fulfilled shipping, but it's been difficult for some people. But very nice to see that you have that. Very nice. Keep scrolling. We're gonna have no A+, I don't think.
we don't have A plus and we don't have brand story either, but it's
That's
because
we're not
this
branded. Yeah.
this is generic. So adding an A plus content in here will allow you to have more space in the product detail page. So while the people is scrolling down or the buyers are scrolling down, you are going to keep their attention on your listings, and you can add the comparison chart that we are always pushing for, and you can have the brand story in there to tell the people something more about your brand. And
Nice. Yeah.
those
I
are
think
nice.
these are good suggestions. And just one more and we'll move on so we can get the other questions. Can you hit the keywords on the Helium 10 chart there?
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, I stopped
Just
sharing.
we'll get a quick glance at organic and sponsored, and then we'll move on. A keyword count.
Okay, let me see.
So just scroll down to the chart below.
Oh, you want to see this one?
Yeah, and then just hit the keywords button on it. Should pull us right up. And this can just give us a quick glance. We're not going to go in depth here, but hopefully it loads. Getting kind of a quick glance of, are you advertising enough or are you not advertising enough at all? It's not really loading, but
No.
you have to maybe switch accounts.
Yeah, switching accounts. Okay, I'm going to try to do it again. Let's see if that works.
But basically, okay, not loading. And if you have Helium 10, I would suggest you do if you don't. But what you're looking for is a 2-to-1 ratio. That say you have 500 organic keywords, you should have around 250 paid keywords, and that shows that you're advertising enough. You could try it one more time if you want.
Yeah, I will try it.
Be really helpful, especially if Ollie doesn't have Helium 10
Yeah.
yet.
No,
Okay, perfect.
slowly.
Cool. We'll get just a quick glance. Okay, organic keywords. Hover over the I guess, first, just so we can see the actual breakdown in there. Ben.
What was that? Sorry.
Yeah, that where you were. Just hover your cursor over the I, the information.
Oh,
Yeah, so we have 44 organic keywords. I would make sure you have backend search terms loaded into your listing. I feel like you should be doing a little bit better with the organic side of things at this point with all of those sales you're making. Make sure you have backend search terms and a strategy there. And for now, that's where your focus should be, is trying to get more organic keywords, making sure your title's long enough, your bullets are long enough, you have backend generic keywords. It's going to be the most important field for all that. And then you have 39 paid keywords. So you're actually average. If we took the 2-to-1 ratio, you have more paid than organic. We've more paid than you should right now, but I think that's good. I think you're okay, and you should just focus on organic growth still.
Anali has some other questions. He has a registered brand and things like that, and he's mentioning that.
So yeah, that's tough. Their brand name change is a tough process. That's what you're gonna have to go through. It's not easy to get through with support. You're gonna have to be persistent, but give support pictures. What you need is pictures of your product. If you put a UPC code on the product on Amazon, show that UPC code on the product or the product packaging. And you want pictures of the product or the product packaging that shows your brand name as well. So you're going to show them the brand name and the UPC code of your product or your product packaging that matches exactly with what it's supposed to be. And that's supposed to be a real world, phone in hand picture. And you'll want to go to Amazon support and just keep requesting that. If, like I said, it's a tough issue. We do have service for this. We have one-off service for this. You can check that out on myamazonguy.com as well. Brand name change service is a popular one because it's difficult.
Karan Singh, over the past week, my cost per click rose while impressions dropped significantly, which seems odd. The only change was a price increase from 24 to 30. Why would impressions drop?
Yeah. You said over the past week, though. I want to throw one thing. The past week was Prime Day. So especially with Prime Day, CPC is going to rise naturally. And maybe if you didn't increase your bids, like competition increased their bids for Prime Day, that you lost some of that impression share because the competitors were probably bidding more. And I would say, secondly, I think 24 to 30 in a snap change is probably a little bit too much. Overall, I would always probably suggest to just try to go like 10% up at a time, unless 30 is your normal price and that was just a sale and it went back to normal. If you're just trying to increase your price, I would only go up like 10%. And for your case, then only like $2 from 24 to 26 and see how things go. And then see if you can go up higher. I think 24 to 30 is pretty aggressive. That's like a 25% price increase.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Shane. And maybe this is reducing your ads relevancy and conversions as well. When you increase the price, it could be happening as well. Hey again. Let's go to the next one. When there are overlapping categories and one has overall better BSRs, which is better to enter? And should I try to get added to both?
It's a tough question when you're picking categories. Like you have more than one category that works for your product. The more competitive category is going to be more difficult to grow in, but it's more competitive because there's more customer interest there. I would probably go with the one where you're getting a better BSR, especially if it's still completely relevant enough. I would keep that category. And trying to get added to both is probably a losing game. Amazon doesn't want you to be in two categories at the same time. but they can put you in the two categories at the same time. It's more at their own discretion. If a category sells really well, or if a product sells really well across like different searches that are across different categories, you'll see some people have multiple categories, but it's not something you can really force in on your own, in my opinion. Maybe something that'll help would be like, say you pick the wireless earbud category and you're doing well, you can try to do some campaign targeting for the Bluetooth earbud category and try to get lots of like orders and sales in that category as well. And maybe Amazon will put you in both, but that's definitely not a guarantee.
I agree with you, Shane. Just taking a look to the next question from Sishan. Is that correct, Sishan? So I'm Sishan from Pakistan and giving my services to my clients. How can I grow my business more?
I think that's a good question. I think if you're doing a good job, I mean, ask your clients if they know anyone else. Post on LinkedIn, be active, make sure you're, showing your strategies and the things you're doing that are working. And yeah, I think that'll be your best bet, honestly.
Try
Just
to
really
provide,
like LinkedIn will probably be a really good place.
and try to provide excellent customer services. Try to be ahead of communications, try to be nice, and try to be focused on what your clients want. I believe that is one of the things that you need to keep in mind. And there are a lot of ways you can grow your business more, but I believe this is a very broad question.
Yeah, strategy over reporting. That would be the other thing I say. Make sure you're giving your client strategy rather than telling them what happened.
Got it. Let's go to the next one. Marni. Yes, has keywords bidding gone up so high? I recently did placement optimization and I had to adjust it multiple times to point where CPC is much higher now. The competition is getting rough. And of course, as the time passes, it's going to be more expensive to advertise inside Amazon, and it will depend a lot on your category. You need to try to find those spots where you are more comfortable to be. I have seen that a lot of people is always targeting to be in the first position, and maybe that's very expensive to be. So if you want an advice, why not targeting to be in the third one? Third position, that's a good place, and we have found that it's not so expensive to be in there. So that's a thought that I have.
Yeah, and if you've recently did placement optimization, maybe pull a placement report off the ads console, and you can try to get a feel for, okay, when I'm top of search, my ACoS is like 300%. When I'm doing my top of search bid placement, that's not working. Don't be afraid of product page, like those bid placements and rest of search. Sometimes they work really well. And I would just figure out how each placement is performing, as well. And I'll just go back to Prime Day. I mean, Prime Day definitely increased stuff very, very recently. And then we're going right into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Things are pretty much elevated across the board. Fees, bidding, competition, it all gets a little bit hotter right now.
I agree with you, Shane. Let's go with the next one. I have a lot of questions in here, so bear with me, please. Creative 123 seems to be the next one.
I think
I
so.
have a question about my Amazon deactivate, about Amazon deactivating my account after 45 months due to identity verification. They are not verifying my identity, and I really can't understand. I have submit all my authentic documents, and they are not verifying me. If there is anybody know about any authentic email which directly connect to Amazon team, okay. So this seems to be a tough issue. We faced this in the past, or similar issues, a ton of similar issues, and you are not going to let me lie in here, Shane. I believe that we have been facing this since
Yeah, I've seen it. I would assume the performance notification said you were in violation of Section 3 of Amazon policies, wanted you to do an identity verification, which should have been a live chat identity verification. Like you should have been like in a video call with Amazon support rep, and you bring your documentation with you, and you kind of review it together. They can see your face live. They look at that driver's license. Um, but Section 3 is super broad. And I would like I would be concerned or be thinking about what else it could be. Section 3 doesn't just mean identity verification. It's like a very broad section of the account of the policy for Amazon. So if you've been doing anything else recently that maybe feels like that could be the issue, it could be tied to that. Don't really know an authentic email. My best suggestion would be to email Jeff at, I think they're Jeff at Amazon. I think there's 911 at Amazon. And is there a new one for Andy Andy Jassy at
And yes,
Amazon? I think
yeah.
there's either Andy at Amazon.com. You can try emailing those, and they usually can try to get into contact with higher level teams. But it might be difficult.
And I remember we have one more that I utilized in the past for one Eclipse account that we have some issues with. You remember that one, Shane? So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to figure it out. If you want to reach out to us over the email, maybe I can give you the contacts that we have for you to reach out, and maybe you can move the needle a bit. And if that is not working, just remember that you can always reach out to us. Inside our website, we have a lot of those services, and maybe we can help you out with some troubleshooting. Basically, if I can be honest with you, normally it's about pushing and not let Amazon go with with this issue on their hands, without solving it. Because if it's unfair and you know that you are not doing anything wrong, well, I will keep pushing until I get my resolution. So
Yeah. Yep. I
just
think
keep that
that's
in
all the right suggestions. It's a tough place to be in for sure.
mind.
And there's no guarantees with it, but yeah, we do have account reinstatement and just generic troubleshooting kind of hours that you can look into, or a coaching call with one of our coaches if you want to go further and deeper into that.
Sweet. Let's go to Ali again. Thank you very much for your help. I will check. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend as well, Ali. Thank you so much for joining. And I believe that you left another answer. I have another question. I have more products in this category that is different flavors like chicken, beef, dog, meats, chicken and vegetables, etc. And these are around 15 variations. Should I list all these in one listing with variations or single? Which is best strategy? Thanks. Actually, I would go and I don't know, very fast, very quick talk. I will go and separate them depending on the sizes or depending on the flavors. If you have different sizes for the chicken, for example, I will create a parent for the chickens only, and then maybe 6 ounces, 10 ounces, 12 ounces. I don't know what you have in there, because I cannot, or 6 pack, 5 pack, 10 pack, things like that. But I will basically play with these things, because it will depend on how well they are doing. You don't want to have a listing together. I mean, you don't want to have a 1 star rate listing, with another one that has already 5 stars, unless that's your strategy. But that maybe
Yeah,
is what you want to pursue.
it's a non-definitive. There's no definitive answer for that type of question. I always say parentage, double-edged sword. So one side of the sword is if you're doing the parentage, you have all of the data mixed together, the BSR data and the reviews mixed together, which can help some of the listings. It can hurt some of the others. Um, if you don't have a parentage, you have more real estate. So when someone searches dog food, you have one tile for chicken, one for duck, one for everything. If you have one parentage, you have one tile and one opportunity for the customer to click on, or maybe two, one sponsored, one organic. But if you have more parentages, you have a little bit more opportunity there. I would do what Ben said. I would test, and I would leave whatever structure you come to think is going to be your best option. I would leave it there for at least 2 weeks and like measure total page visits and total conversion rate. And then if you want to try something else, measure the page visits and the conversion rate again, see what works the best for you.
And the best thing in here is that you can always test, you can always separate them and get back to where you used to be, and you are going to be safe by doing that. Okay. So
Yep.
yeah, it's up to you, but just try to not create too many confusion with your clients,
Yep.
and on your side, try to not hurt yourself whenever you are trying to join those together. Try to see if the rating is going to be higher whenever you finish the parent, or try to see if it's going to be lower. If you don't know for sure, just to not take more time on this one, test it, see how it looks like, and if you don't like the outcome, get back to where you used to be, as I said. So
Agreed.
let's go to the next one. Nisarg Sutaria. Hi, my sales are stagnant from the start. My monthly sales are around 1,200 USD. I also increased my PPC and spend up, but on the suggested are so high, like 1.5 USD. This is
Yeah.
this is a very broad a very broad question.
Yeah, and I would wonder with PPC, like you maybe just need to dig into more available options in targeting, or again outside marketing if it's an option for you. But I would wonder if you're doing a lot of exact match, and exact match is normally going to be more expensive than phrase, broad, or auto. Find the areas where you're having better CPCs, or the keywords that have better suggested bids, and live with those, or go below the suggested bid. You don't have to hit the suggested bid. You can go below the suggested bid and use different campaign settings, and just make sure you're getting impressions. If you're getting impressions and you're getting opportunity, as long as you're getting impressions at a rate that you like, yeah, PPC can be hard, and I think focus on the tacos metric. It can be a good indication of. Oh, and she said my conversion rate's around 11, which I do to increase sales and conversion rate. Conversion rate of 11% is not bad at all. I'd say that's strong.
That's very strong.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like the best I've ever seen, but it's among them. It's a strong conversion rate, and there's no problem with an 11% conversion rate. I think anything above 10% is really good. And so maybe sessions and traffic is more of an issue than conversion rate, which would be meaning more spend. And so I'll kind of go back to what I was saying is I would look at the tacos number. And so you can find the tacos number or TROAS, basically the same thing. Just take your ad spend and divide it by your total sales in whatever period you're looking at. If you're below 10%, you should be advertising more. If you're around 8 to 12%, 10 to 13, 14%, you're probably in an okay spot. And that's usually middle of the road. If you're 15% or above, that shows me you're maybe putting a little extra in advertising. You're trying to grow a little bit more rather than be profitable. You kind of just want to figure out what your goal is. Like, how profitable do I need to be right now versus how much do I want to just grow that top line sales number that you mentioned? You might need to take a little bit of hit on the profitability and have like a 20% tacos with extra ad spend while you just grow that top line sales number. I think that tacos or TROAS would kind of be your best friend in trying to figure out how to optimize your ads.
I agree with you, Shane. Nice insights in here. Let's go to the next one. Any new information about the partnership between Amazon and TikTok? I haven't heard anything about it, or I'm not following so close that one because it seems that TikTok is losing some some
Yeah.
push lately.
Yeah, I haven't heard really anything about that. I'm going to have to do additional research, but from what I've understood, they aren't playing nice with each other. Or at least they haven't been for the past year. Attribution, like if you do an attribution link on TikTok, Amazon doesn't always capture it. They're like kind of play hardball with each other a little bit. I'd be interested to see more about a partnership, but I haven't heard anything myself. We can move to next, and we'll see if we can wrap around 1:15 here. I do have some things to get to, but
yeah. The shipment reimbursement process is going to change this is from Daniel Assis, okay? Could you describe the new changes and what we need to keep an eye on? The shipment discrepancy claims window is going to be reduced to 60 days. Yeah, Amazon is making some updates on their shipments starting October 23. So next week, I have some insights about it over some place.
Yeah, I've seen that screenshot. I think, I mean, my first suggestion here is going to be, look at all your old shipments now, today,
Yeah,
tomorrow, Sunday. Look at your old shipments, and if there's anything you can raise a reimbursement case for, any like 1, 2, 3 units, whatever, raise your cases now because we're still in that 18-month window. I think it was an 18-month window previously, and you can still get reimbursements on that now. And then when it updates, and we're going to be at a 60-day window, I think Amazon said they're going to be better on kind of helping people automatically get reimbursed. So hopefully it needs less involvement from you, but I would just be watchful because I don't trust Amazon automating reimbursements ever. I mean, they'll tell you they're going to automate a reimbursement, and then they'll do everything in their power to keep the
and
money.
this and remember that we used to have a longer window. We will need, as Shane said, we will need to be more vigilant to avoid missing any deadlines. Claims for lost items in transit need to be submitted between 15 to 75 days after shipment creation. And for customer returns, you can file a claim between 60 and 120 days after the refund replacement date. So those things you need to keep in mind. And I believe that we can move on. I believe that, along with automation on Amazon ends.
Yeah, like, so I think Amazon said they're going to try to automate some of the reimbursements or do better with that. I just wouldn't trust it. I'd be vigilant about watching and making sure they're actually getting you the reimbursements that you're supposed to have. And it should be 60 days after a shipment closes. So like once you see a shipment enter close status, I believe that's where your timer starts. You have 60 days to file.
Yeah.
When I launched the product, my brand was not registered. Time after the launch, the listing was hijacked. Now his brand name shows up on my listing. That's a tough issue to work with. Very tough and difficult and very unfortunate that happened to you. I would be raising cases with support for brand name change, and especially if your brand's registered now. I think that's the first thing you probably need to do, or and try to get Amazon to update to your brand name. So what I talked about earlier, having the package or product with the brand name printed onto it in some fashion with the UPC code. And then you can pass that along to support, and you're probably gonna have to fight that for a while for them to recognize it. If you don't have a brand name already and you didn't register a new brand name, I would try to fight with Amazon and tell them what happened. That it's supposed to be a generic branded product and it got hijacked. Someone added a brand name to it. It's going to be a tough process, and it's really going to come down to getting a good support agent. It's hard to give you even a timeline because we know how support can be. Something I would look into coaching on our website as well with, or like troubleshooting hours, if that's something that's possible for you. That'll be a tough one. Okay, let me go next. We'll knock out a few more questions. Asif Khan official, hello. We are not getting any impressions on our sponsored display ads, and we're not sure what the issue could be. Yeah, that's interesting. So sponsored display and sponsored brand ads do need an approval first. Like they go through an approval process. I would click into the ad group, and then see if it says in review. Sometimes those take like 2-3 days, especially if it's a newer campaign, to go through Amazon's review process and to actually start like spending and delivering. That would be the first thing I'd look at. I mean, if not, maybe your cost control is too low. You need to set a higher cost per click, or a higher budget to go along with it. That could be it, but I would check to see if it's under review still. Right, from Mustafa. Hello, I'm hesitating between separating my listings or doing variations. What would allow me to make the choice? Market's not very competitive. I think Ben's back. Turn your camera on, Ben.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, Ben is back. Yeah, and so for this question, I think I kind of answered it a little bit earlier. It's like a double-edged sword. There's no way I can tell you one's going to be better than the other. Take a look at what your review count and average will look like before and after under different parentage options or that you have to you. I think the reviews and averages is a big piece of it, and then I think, you know, have a few options that you like, test for at least 2 weeks, look at page visits, look at conversion rate. You want to make sure you're not losing a bunch of visibility by splitting the parentage and having different, you know, ranks on keywords and BSRs. So you might lose a bunch of visits on some of the lower performers if you do that, and we want to check that out. And then you want to see how your conversion rate does. If you're in a big parentage with a bunch of options, do customers convert less or they convert more? Try to put yourself in the customer shoes and make the best 2 or 3 options that you can test. Okay, Marnie, how do I separate one variation from the parent listing and try to put this one listing on a different category? Is it okay to experiment like this? Yeah, I mean, I think it would be okay. Amazon's got to approve your category change though. You can really simply just go to support and say, hey, remove the SKU and ASIN from parent SKU and ASIN, and they should actually be able to just remove it for you. You could also do so, I believe, through the variation wizard. You could probably remove it there from yourself. And then you have to request support for a category change as well. You can try to force it through on your own, but if it doesn't work, you're gonna have to go through support. I think it's okay to test like that as long as Amazon is your category change goes through, then you should be like in compliance. There shouldn't be any issues, and you can try to test kind of like if your BSR does better over there because there's less competition, or you know, something like that. It gets you into the top 100. I think that's okay to experiment. Just make sure that category is relevant. We'll go.
But this was the one that I was reading before frozen, right?
Okay. Yeah, and I think I answered that one.
And
And there's maybe a follow-up. In fighting case with Amazon for the last 6 months, I researched the success that I removed his brand name, the name of the brand, and converted it to generic.
that Ali want us to help.
After some time, the Hijackers brand name came back. During this time, my brand was also registered.
Choose this listing, and then I would like you to remove his brand name from my listing. Also remove the people who. Yeah.
Okay. I would go to myamazonguy.com, and so I can kind of show you where to go on there really quickly. If you really want us to help, definitely can. It's just, again, it's not an easier process because we're doing it. We know how to handle it, and I would still expect it to take time. There's not a quick action for something like this, so I would just keep that in mind. Services, troubleshooting, we do have brand name change, or you can just go with troubleshooting hours. I think those 2 options would work best for you. So either just a certain amount of hours of troubleshooting work until we resolve that issue, or we can work on a brand name change on your ASIN specifically, which is more a little bit specifically what you're dealing with. So either of those 2 should work for you. And if you're unsure and don't want to go forward, you can also try, again, the coaching calls are great options. We have John Urban and Noah available for calls, and email for Stephen Pope if you want to ask Stephen Pope any questions.
Yeah, but I believe that we already addressed like what is happening on your account, and I will suggest you to go for the troubleshooting hours just for us to take a closer look and see what is happening in there. As I said, I deal with this in the past. Shane dealt with this in the past, and all the other brand directors deal with this in the past. So we can help you out on this one. Okay, definitely.
Okay, let's do these final ones. Any more questions? I'm gonna skip any new ones, but we'll finish up the last ones here, Ben. Go to Royce. Okay, if I add a new ASIN to an existing parent with a child ASIN of 21 reviews, can I qualify for coupons right off the bat, or will I have to treat it like a new ASIN where I have to sell it first before ordering coupons? And if I have to sell, then how many do I have to sell before qualifying for coupons? You should qualify for coupons right away.
Yeah, you don't need to sell a specific number before qualifying.
Yeah, maybe like subscribe and save coupons. If you're talking about that will definitely have a little bit of that'll have a threshold per child ASIN that you need to like unlock subscribe and save first. But normal coupons should work for anything. I don't believe you need reviews, and if there is a restriction for a review star count or anything, and you have that with this parent, that should cover it for you. Just make sure that the reviews are merged between both ACEs. Sometimes you make a parentage and the reviews aren't merged properly, and that's something you can do a quick support case for.
Yeah, and try to treat that one, the new ACing, as a new one. Even if you add it to an existing parentage, keep in mind that that is a new one, and you need to treat it like that. So you can maximize the reach or whatever you are trying to get in there.
Yeah, for like the honeymoon, you can still discount that one and everything like that too. Kind of get a good start to it. From Asif, could you recommend a video on setting up sponsored display ads? I wonder if we have it. We have a video on lots of stuff,
We
but
should have something. Maybe Ali or someone in the team in the backend can help us sharing something, or if you can find something, will be great, Shane.
yeah, here's an old one. Here's deep dive into sponsored display ads from a year ago. This looks like one of the more recent ones. I'll drop this in the chat. I haven't specifically watched this one myself, I don't believe, but we will all destinations share this YouTube link. Deep dive into sponsored display ads from 1 year ago, so it should be mostly up to date.
Yeah, that's a newer one, the newest one. Now to the next one. How can we, Sheros Ali, how can we reduce our product PPC bid? Okay, you can reduce PPC bids. That's a broad question, and I will have a broad answer by optimizing keywords, pausing low performing ones, adjusting bids for high cost keywords, and focusing on exact match targeting to increase efficiency. Those are some broad strategies I will suggest to you.
Yeah, you got to get like a search term report or a targeting report and take a look at those targets and search terms that are not performing at the rate that you need them to, or maybe have a high cost per click, lower their bids, change the campaign strategy. Maybe you're using up and down bidding strategy. You can change that to like down only so that your bids don't go up, they can only go down. You'd have to really dive into the targeting type of report.
Yep.
Okay.
And now the last one, just to not leave
Last
it in
one.
there. Lipsy. I have a brand registry. How can I find Amazon influencers so they can add my products to their storefronts? This is an interesting one, and definitely it's an easy one. There is a thing called Creator Connections, where you can create a campaign. I don't know if you already saw it, but you need to go to advertising tab right inside the hamburger menu, and then Creator Connections. If you cannot see it in the menu, maybe you need to active something. As you are the owner of the account, you should have everything visible in there, and then you can create a campaign. You need to create like a letter for the creators about your brand, and you are going to have like the objectives and like a short story about your brand and your products. If you have some coupons in there, etc., etc., and then you need to place a budget, and you need to place like the commission that you would like to offer for them whenever they are making a sale.
Okay, so Liv already did okay, so my best suggestions for the creator connections, my best two suggestions. You probably did a 10% commission. That's okay. I think most people do. If you can afford a slightly higher commission, that's going to attract some more people. The other thing is the budget. Just put a bigger budget in. Maybe you put like a $500 or $1,000 budget. The creators can see that, and so to attract some bigger fish, put in a bigger budget so that they're more interested. Yeah, and you can leave a 10% live if that's all you can do. Like that's pretty standard and okay. But maybe increase the budget amount because creators can see it and they want to know that if they do a really really good video, that they're going to be able to get paid out and they're gonna get all of that bonus.
And don't be afraid. I know we don't trust in Amazon that much on the things that they say, but at the end of the day, if you place a 50,000 budget in there, which I did in the past, that is not going to be, you're not going to spend that right away, so you shouldn't be afraid of that. And if you can afford, as Shane mentioned, 15% in commission, that is going to bring more traffic to the table, and just be very careful on which ones you choose. I don't know if you already navigated. When they reach out to you, you have a messaging dashboard in there, but you can navigate and see their social media platforms to see if they have good reach in there, and if it's a good fit for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
make sure you're responding to their questions and maybe giving some samples out wherever people will ask for samples and they're waiting for that to make their video. So there's a little chat message thing in the bottom right-hand corner of that section of the Creator Connection. So you can try to look and respond to some of them. That could help as well. I think that's about it today, guys. We got to wrap up, get back to the day-to-day here. But thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your questions. One last time, my name is Shane. I'm a brand director here at My Amazon Guy. I'm here with Ben, another brand director. You guys can check us out on myamazonguy.com. We have all of our services, full service management, down to little things like troubleshooting hours like we talked about today. So anything you need, we have it here for you, and feel free to reach out.
And Liv already said, thank you so much. So
Awesome.
have a nice weekend. We will see you next time. I don't know if we are going to be here next week, but please reach out to us and keep typing to our emails or to our website if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye-bye.